And welcome everyone, where I continue my series of covering the players of T-Lab, and this time we are going to cover AppiePicker in the mid lane during a ranked match that has been played on the patch version 1.1. So we have the wonderful Halloween map, and here we're gonna see AppiePicker on the Howitzer playing against Simba on the Fae. So that should be a very interesting match, two very strong mid laners in the NA scene. And Fae can be like pretty complicated for Howitzer because Howitzer is a kind of a fridge, is very big, and here we're gonna get already a little bit of action. We're gonna trade some auto attacks and some Air 2000 missile, but as you can see here, AppiePicker is kind of forced to walk away because the Harvest Nettle 6-second cooldown is just like too strong at that level 1, so like AppiePicker cannot really trade. Like he get a pretty good burst with passive plus Air 2000 missile, but as soon as that is done, like the Harvest Nettle just like better sustain DPS at level 1. That's why like AppiePicker was walking back despite having the jump initially. And you can see how AppiePicker doesn't use the missile on the wave, he just like use it to keep poking Simba, trying to remain out of range of that Harvest Nettle. You can see how he step back every time Simba goes for it. I know that is like pretty strong, like in terms of health, he jump in aggressively. He has to be careful though, because maybe like Simba can get the level 2 first, and so that's something that you have to respect, but he's very close to get his own level 2, so here he should be fine. And he's probably looking, oh, we're going for an aggressive flash with the landmine, but we do flash away from the Air 2000 missile. Maybe here we should have gone like for some auto attack, and then like either we get a better timing on the missile, or we get like a better, or we wait for the flash and then we go for it. So here we force like the back on Simba. I kind of like the idea of recalling. I think here AppiePicker was scared that he gonna get like cancelled by the minions, that's why he stayed. If he didn't stay, I think he would have got like a perfect early game lead thanks to like the wave pushing into him, so Simba would have lost a lot more than AppiePicker. Now that we kind of delay the back, it's not as clear as it used to be, but I love the idea. He recognized that the wave is slowly pushing towards him, so he can take that recall without any risk and still like come out of top in that exchange. So both mid laner doesn't have flash, so here it's a big minion wave that is going to crash on the tower. There is not much that can be done, which means that river buff, Haru is looking for an aggression, but that's not a good timing for aggression, and he shouldn't. It's also like this play by Haru probably like mean that they're both gonna take a lot of damage. That also means that AppiePicker lost a lot of experience, because that was like almost a double wave stack that has been shared by Haru. So no, I think if we look at the XP, I know he's gonna get dove and killed. You can see like AppiePicker was supposed to be super ahead in the mid lane, but because of that play from Haru, he actually like destroy all the lead that AppiePicker has built with like his good early aggression. That's something you have to be careful as a jungler. Try to understand wave state. Jumping in when there is like 10 enemy minion at level 3 is probably a very bad idea. And then like staying around to just like share the XP on so many minions is like, okay, it's good for yourself because you can see now he's level 4. It's quite like he's a full level ahead of Nivellua, but that means that no, AppiePicker is gonna have a tough time. And if the mid laner like lose the pressure completely and the mid laner is free to roam, suddenly the game becomes very complicated to play, especially with a Fae that you don't really want the Fae to be free to roam into the side lane, especially when she gets close to her level 6, because then it's very easy flash, very easy kill that can like suddenly appear. So naturally we're maxing first the ability to Air 2000 missile. Haru is coming back, we're gonna flash, try to get there, get the slow in, we're gonna get a lot of damage. That's a good counter gank. We try to abuse the fact that Simba doesn't have flash, and because we forced it earlier, and Haru still has his own flash, so that's a guaranteed kill. So we're gonna be aggressive here, secure the kill. Unfortunately for AppiePicker, the kill has been taken by Haru, so on top of that, here I feel like after we stole 10 like shares 10 minions, we probably would have loved to give this kill to AppiePicker so he can come like in a sense like get back his lead, but it's not happening here. So we're gonna get like double river buff. We do have to be careful though, because the Feng Mao from offlane were looking for it. Simba is back. We do have Nivellua that is mid lane, so we have to play a little bit slow. Also on top of that, probably Simba now has the alchemical road plus double codex, so he's a full alchemical road up, which means that you don't really want to trade in that situation. But we can still like poke, being like very safe, as you can see every time Simba can try to goes in, landmine to disengage, and really you try to play at max range in that matchup, because as soon as you're in the mid-range situation, suddenly Bramble Patch can hit you, Harvest Nettle can hit you, and the damage of the Fae is nothing to scoff at. But you can see here, because New Veloa was mid, we do now get Simba that is free to rotate towards the dual lane, and that's gonna be a double kill on the dual lane. And here, to be honest, there is not much to be done for AppiePicker, because Nivulwa was around the mid lane, while so that means that he cannot really step forward, because if he step in the jungle, suddenly like it can be like a Chimera plus a Fae that just jump on him and just bait the rotation. So yeah, I can hear the dual lane like, please follow the rotation, but there is sometimes like as a mid laner, following the rotation is way too risky for yourself, and so the side lane needs to respect the fact that the mid laner is not there, because the mid laner is kind of stranded in mid lane. Here we get like the Steel that is looking for some aggression, doing like a very nice body block here. Exceptional job by Ramon, but AppiePicker not panicking, waiting for the right opportunity to go for the landmine. In those situations, you can also use a little trick on Howitzer. You can put the landmine, and before you trigger it, you start channeling your missile, which means that you're immune to knockback, to the knockback of your own landmine, which means that then you push the Steel behind you, even if he's in front of you, while you don't get pushed back. And so that could be also a solution if he was getting low on life that he could have used to manage to get away. Here we see that AppiePicker is looking at Aru and Simba. So Simba is low on HP, so AppiePicker here is gonna get like a pretty substantial timing to be able to rotate, and he's gonna try to use that to rotate towards dual lane. We see that the Chimera is here, but as soon as they disengage, you can see here AppiePicker wants to remain hidden. He doesn't want this Chimera to be able to see him, so it's just like trying to play hide and seek. But since dual lane is not in a situation to fight, and we haven't finished the combustion yet, we don't really want to force that fight, especially since now Simba is back. Ooh, very nice missile here to get like a little bit of sneaky poke. But that means that's gonna be probably the first Fangtus for the enemy team. And here, like, we could have kept his rotation, but the enemy dual lane is stronger, and the Chimera is pretty big, and AppiePicker, yeah, he has ultimate, but he reach the first power spike of getting his combustion up, which, that's why like this first blood, like this first kill that could have been good for AppiePicker, because maybe here if he has combustion they can probably fight that. Without combustion I don't think they can, and so AppiePicker just play it slow. Sometimes there is opportunity, sometimes there is not. If the enemy team has a lot of numbers and they're stronger than you, like, no need to just try to contest this Fangtus and lose like on top of the Fangtus 3 more people. You will have other opportunities later, you see. Keep the game plan, we're just poking Simba out, not letting him step forward. Simba like finally step forward because we used the missile. And we're gonna secure the right river buff. Gonna try to secure double river buff. We do have to be careful though, because the Chimera can be there, the Fang Mao can be there. And we're gonna have it, but now we're probably in a tough situation, so we're gonna use the ultimate immediately, and probably we will have to flash. We try to use the landmine. Okay, Fly Trap has been used, so that's for the flash, and now we get the dive from Nivulua. We're gonna trade as much damage as we can. We're probably gonna get like a trade here, so very well played, because that was a triple man gank, and we managed to get like a kill from the enemy team. And now we have Arrow arriving. Simba is trying to bait the drop, but this rotation from the Steel is pretty good. We're gonna get the flash, but the flash is not good enough. Simba is out. But Survivor got the rotation, so in the end it's gonna be a kill. And they're gonna tax the wave. Should go back to their lane, and now we're waiting for AppiePicker. So now AppiePicker has his full combustion up, started to work towards a Tainted Blade. I guess it's to be able to... Tainted Scepter, sorry, with the Spiked Birch, as we can see here. Combustion finished, Spiked Birch. I guess the idea is mainly to be able to reduce the healing from that Chimera. That can be like a problem. And Casters are very good at applying because Tainted Scepter is a wonderful item overall. And any type of damage, you can like apply it at distance. You have AoE damage, so you are very strong for that. So we get a little bit of priority in mid lane, so we're gonna try to go for that mini prime. We do have Crazy Fool that rotated as well, so like the enemy still is following that rotation, but Simba is late. Nivua is not even gonna show up, so that's gonna be a free mini prime for the side of the Dusk team. And now we can come back to defend that tower. Here we do have this steal. Simba is around as well. So we're gonna like play it kind of slow. No need to overextend. There is nothing to be gained on the map for a fight here. So we're gonna maybe look to go back to base, but we don't have a lot of gold to spend, so just gonna keep farming. And here we can look for rotation, maybe. As we can see, we have Macaroni Monster being kind of low. Slight priority on the rotation, and people are low, but they don't have a lot of time. We're gonna try to probably to go for Nivulua here. It's gonna be like a dead camera, but we have to be careful about like the following rotation. We do get the steal. I try to go aggressive. We get the landmine, but we get the flash also from the steal. And now we're gonna turn onto the Feng Mao. Feng Mao stayed around. He got the Reaping Dash, so he's not gonna be dead. He has to be careful. That's a lot of damage. Fly Trap. Ooh, did we manage to break the link? We do manage to break the link, but it's not gonna be enough to get the kill, unfortunately. So Macaroni Monster, I feel like risking a bit too much. There is no need for him to step forward, but in the end it worked out, and AppiePicker ended up dying. That's one of the problem with Howitzer, is you're very strong at like poking at a distance, but once you're in the middle of the melee, you died super duper fast because you don't really have move speed. Like landmine is a strong ability, but when there is multiple people on you, it's very hard to have the perfect angle to create enough space because it's kind of a slow displacement overall. So positioning is key. Here we try to collapse. Unfortunately, the collapse didn't work out. Macaroni Monster managed to escape with a slither HP. Even if he killed Macaroni Monster here, I think AppiePicker only trades, so that's probably a bit aggressive. I think he hoped to have like more damage than he actually had, and so that's gonna cost him his life. So far, like, I love the early game, but we have seen how our like early game kind of cost a lot of the early pressure AppiePicker had. Now he's in a 1-3-1, so it's not like doing like perfectly, but as I said in a previous game that I reviewed from Gratis, like even when you're behind, you just have to look for the opportunities. Also like the Sparrow game from Laconator, and you just keep playing your game. And here you can see Aru just staying behind everyone, just dealing damage at a distance, and that's what you should be doing with a caster such as Howitzer. Like, it's a backline artillery mage. You just stay behind your like front line and you just like keep sending damage. Slow grenade and R2000 missile are kind of free to be spammed and used in those situations. Landmine is probably like at the moment that either you feel that nobody can dive you, so you don't need it for your own defense, or like people are starting to get away and you want to bring them back into your team. So here we're looking for the rotation on left lane, but Feng Mao is playing like very far back, and we get Simba plus the steal also rotating. So a lot of those rotations are being matched by the enemy team, so we're not gonna like commit for it. Especially since we're have Simba Mega Cons finish, probably being close to the alchemical rolled fully stacked. So here we're gonna go back to base because we're gonna get our Tainted Scepter finish or a Crest finish. So also you can see like Crest was finished on Simba, which means if we try to fight like this 3v3 on the offlane, well, it probably wouldn't have gone well because itemization was slightly better on the enemy team. So it's also something, once again, like try to play with your spike. So here we have Crest finish, second item finish. So that's a pretty decent spike for that Howitzer, so we can be looking for a fight. Overall, we get the level 11 as well, which means that now we have ultimate level 2. That's a pretty huge spike. Like, you finish a Crest, you finish a second item, and you get your ultimate level 2. That's definitely a moment that we should be looking for a fight. And so you can see here we're looking for a bit of aggression. Immediately we go for the ultimate. We get the landmine and we force the epoch. Good damage by ganks. I feel like the landmine wouldn't have killed in that situation. So Simba was kind of safe. We're gonna try like to dive this tower. Crazy Fool is going in. We're forcing the flash out of Simba and we're gonna get the flash from AppiePicker, but that's a bit too aggressive in my opinion. There is no need to go for that flash and it's gonna cost his life and probably the life of Aru as well. Crazy Fool doesn't have mana. Like that's something that NA players love to do and I don't understand why. Here in that situation, you get the flash out of Simba. The tower is free for the taking. Take the tower and if Simba stay around then suddenly you still can go for a flash Air 2000 missile, landmine back and you are completely fine. But no, here we want to force get the kill before the tower is dead and then we die. On top of that, it's not like he got surprised by the damage of that Murdoch. Because honestly, like he got absolutely chunked before. Like when he got very good damage on AppiePicker, was in good damage on Simba. AppiePicker was in the air and he lost like 60% of his health from 0 to attack from the Murdoch. So you know that the Murdoch was big. So overall, this flashing I think is super troll. I don't know why any player keep going for those aggressive dive instead of just taking the tower and then looking for more. Here, Simba is forced back to base. You get the tower, you can invade the jungle. You don't even need that kill to be like very beneficial. But here we do have the steal that is getting like picked out of position, so it's forced to flash away. Here we're looking probably like maybe for a fight. We're gonna get river buff. And here we're looking for the mini prime. At that point they have a lot of damage, so they should be able to do the mini prime before the enemy team arrive. But they probably will have to fight to be able to extract themselves. Here the steal is going in, we're looking for some opportunity. And we don't see much. We're gonna go for the Meki train, going like through the crack in the wall to be able to extract themselves. They only lose Crazy Fool to secure the mini prime. I would say that's overall pretty good, especially since the timing of the Fang Tooth is still like quite far off, so they're gonna be able to be back on time for it. So here we're working towards the rest legging, I assume. That would be wonderful if we can secure this rest legging before this next Fang Tooth fight, because that way we can be like very, very strong, but I don't think we're gonna have like time for another a reset before this Fang Tooth respawn. Even though like I think it's 750 gold that you need to secure the rest legging here. We're only missing 250 gold, but there is a big fight in the right side jungle, so we're gonna rotate here, show our presence, gonna try like maybe to cut some people out so they cannot come and they cannot clear like that wave. Everyone is in the dual lane, so we have like a free push. And here like we cannot really afford to reset, because otherwise that offer like a pretty big window and that would have been wonderful to get this rest legging, but sometimes you cannot. Here we're gonna get the landmine. Very nice fly trap by Simba, but we get the missile before the epoch. We get like a pretty good slow. We're gonna get like another missile, and so that's what you should be doing with the caster. You get your damage and you hide behind the pillar. You get your damage, you hide behind the pillar, which force like for both ganks and Simba to be a little bit not safe enough, and so that's gonna be like a free Fang Tooth for their team. They probably have to fight to extract themselves, so that's gonna be a little bit dangerous. The steal is coming, so we're gonna like use the Meki train once again, trying to get to ganks. Ganks is walking far away, and we get the missile, and the missile is enough to secure the kill. So now we're gonna like just push left. His teammate is winning the fight, so he said like I don't need to rotate, let's get more on the map. And so more on the map is like probably securing this tier 2 tower. So that's also something that try to get the maximum of the situation. Sometimes it can backfire, because like suddenly like because you don't rotate your teammate doesn't win the fight. But here you realize his team was winning the fight, so it's pretty free to go for that tier 2 tower and then invade the enemy jungle while his own team is pushing the mid lane with this mini prime. Inhibitor is maybe a bit ambitious, but this Greystone has a lot of damage. Wow, this inhibitor is melting. So probably if Simba was, if AppiePicker were coming to the mid lane, that would have been probably like a secured inhibitor, which could have been good. But I wasn't expecting the Greystone to have that much damage, and so I assume AppiePicker did not as well. So we're just like keep farming pretty efficiently. We got a tier 2, 2 waves, a blue buff, a 3 camp. So like AppiePicker is super happy with how much gold he got in his pocket. You can see that's 3,000 gold. Gonna be able like to back out. We can note that he decided to max slow grenade second, which is like a choice. I think you can max either slow grenade or landmine. In terms of damage, burst damage, maxing landmine is slightly better, but that means you use it and you have like more cooldown on it. But in terms of sustained damage and being annoying and also being able to poke, slow grenade is better because you don't really want to poke with your landmine because otherwise you're not going to have your defensive cooldown. So if you look to poke a lot, slow grenade is a good option. So here, AppiePicker decided to not rotate because he saw that a lot of the enemy team was fighting on the opposite side of the map. So AppiePicker kind of going onto like a solo farm experience here. Secure the inhibitor though. That's a thing that could have backfired pretty badly. Overall, it worked out, but because his team managed to deal like a good fight. But that could have been like a very scary endeavor because AppiePicker did not rotate, so that was a 5v4 that if they lose, that means Ore Prime is lost. In the end, his team managed to win the fight in the 5v4, and on top of that, now they're gonna be able to secure the Ore Prime, so that's a pretty strong situation for them. So we're gonna secure Ore Prime. Here, AppiePicker is not really helping that much. Probably have access to the Oblivion Crown if he was backing, so that could be like an option because Aru needs to back, the Kira is looking to back, so I feel like AppiePicker should have backed with them so he can get his Oblivion Crown, and so the next push would have been devastating. But here we're still like stealing camp, but stealing that camp and applying pressure on the tier 2 tower compared to the difference of going back with his team to have Oblivion Crown for the next fight, I think there is like no comparison. Like Oblivion Crown would be so much better, and I think that would have been like just like a stronger play overall to just go back with his teammate to secure the item. Because Oblivion Crown is not a small bump of damage, it's actually a huge bump of damage. So here we're applying pressure, we're actually like dominating. We're very far ahead. We should be able to secure at least all the inhibitors. Here we're looking for some poke. We do lose Crazy Fool in the mid lane. They're going like overly aggressive in the mid lane. It was a 2v4 in the mid lane. I don't know why they're forcing that fight. That's pretty bad, so that maybe like gonna offer an opportunity for the side of the Dawn team to be able to defend. Still is going aggressive. Oh, we don't use the epoch, so that's gonna be a lot of damage. Now we use the epoch, but we're already took a lot of damage. We're forced to flash away. We're gonna get the landmine. Try to kill that camera. Camera is 1 HP. It's gonna be the kill. We have the Stoneforge Sword to create some space. Oh, we missed the missile. It's gonna be a kill. Aru is 1 HP, but still he's back. Ganks is back. I don't see... That was some damage on Simba. And now we're gonna like probably get clean up. We're trying to dodge to get our cooldown back, but no, we are dead. So, game was won by Dusk's team, to be honest. The game was fully won. Here we have minions, but I think they're gonna be able to defend it. But there was a couple mistakes that ended up costing them the game. The first mistake for me is from AppiePicker not backing out to get his Oblivion Crown. If he got Oblivion Crown, like I think there is absolutely no shot that they lose the team fight because the increase of damage would have been so strong that just one missile on someone would be like 40% of their health, one combo and they're dead. Like it would have been unplayable for the enemy team. But then the second mistake was Crazy Fool and Aru over-forcing the mid inhibitor when they don't need to. The Kira wasn't there. They had the AppiePicker and Survivor on the left-hand side. They're the two like kind of tanky target. New Greystone does a lot of damage currently, but they didn't have the Kira, they didn't have the Howitzer, they didn't have the Serat, all those characters that you want them to be able to deal damage in those situations, and they force it a bit too much. So then it's a 4v2 in mid lane, we lose 2 people instead of simply disengaging and fighting with everyone. So game was won, and now we have to fight again to to try to find an opportunity. And so here we tried to go for the Primal Fangtus, but we already have lost 2, so we didn't wait for the teammate. We didn't wait once again for the all damage dealer to be there, so that's gonna be pretty expensive, but at least AppiePicker is now finally arriving. We have AG Raymond that is stuck into the pit. We're gonna activate, probably try to activate this Primal Fangtus, so the Fangtus can attack. And here we cannot fully enter the pit. Aru get the kill. We're gonna look to disengage and we're gonna secure like another kill, and this kill is pretty far delayed, so that means that now for 40 seconds we're not gonna have that steel support. So here, if we're gonna end up dying as the steel, we probably want to die fast, so we are at the same timing as the Feng Mao, so we don't offer like a big opportunity for the enemy team to be into a 5v4 scenario, which is a bit dangerous. Here we do have AppiePicker that do find Simba. We force the flash out of Simba. Ooh, the rocket doesn't connect. Nivolo is looking for this Howitzer, but we get like one of the slow grenade. We get the landmine. Nivolo tried to cleanse that landmine, but it didn't work out. Does have to be careful now here. Gonna give like information. He don't want to be jumped on, and you can see Harry is walking towards his teammate. And we get some poke damage. Oblivion Crown is finished. We're working towards the Caustica with Scalding Scepter and Mystic Cane already secured. If we look quickly a little bit at the build, see a lot of burst damage, very low ability haste. Only the ability haste from Tented Scepter, and the rest is like penetration, pure damage. We have also burst damage from the Tented Scepter, and as I just didn't look, he apparently got engaged by the camera and the Feng Mao, and so he got killed. So his team is secure Primal Fangtus, which is triple Fangtus. Once again, I'm not really sure why AppiePicker is playing those solo farmings so much. Like, we're at 27 minutes. His position lie with his team as a backline artillery cannon. He's a Howitzer that was without flash, without ultimate, which means it was a very, very easy pickup for the enemy team. So overall, in terms of damage, we're playing well. We're having like some good situation when we get like, for instance, the inhibitor and we steal a big portion of the jungle, but there is many situations when we kind of overforce stuff, or we just like overextend when we don't have defensive cooldown, or we don't realize exactly what the situation requires for us. For instance, like not going for that back was pretty rough, not getting that Oblivion Crown that would have secured the game. So definitely a lot of polishing that can be found on that gameplay that we're watching today. So here, his team has Primal Fangtus, but they lost Aru, so the enemy team is gonna try to force the O-Prime because the enemy team doesn't have any jungler. And here we're gonna try to get some good damage onto the Fae, but once again, we don't really like respect the flank from the Murdoch. We have to be careful because now we have the Feng Mao and we're probably gonna die. This Feng Mao can chase forever. We're gonna get like the slow grenade, but actually Macaroni Monster is not going for the kill, so I'm not really sure why Macaroni Monster is not going for the kill. Like, that was a free kill on AppiePicker. You have to respect the landmine, but it's okay, now we're gonna get the kill on Nivulua. Kind of a Skylar teamfight, to be honest. We got the level 18 at 29 minutes. So we managed to survive the 4v5. I feel like this side of the Dusk didn't play that teamfight properly. As AppiePicker here, I feel like, okay, the flank on Simba was nice, but stepping forward I don't think was nice. I think here in that situation you just looked at getting the Air 2000 missile plus slow grenade on Simba. Probably gonna force the epoch and then you walk around the pillar. Like here, you probably like come here, pick, get your damage done, and then you walk towards that fog wall. The problem here is that AppiePicker walk forward, which means that then he got flanked by the Murdoch and lost 60% of his health and should have been dead if Macaroni Monster didn't follow up properly. So as a Howitzer, you also have to, like, you deal a lot of damage, but you did a lot of damage from afar, and you have to be very careful because it's very easy to just like destroy you in 2 seconds if you get like slightly targeted by the enemy carry, for instance, or any source of damage from the enemy team. So positioning could be also like slightly improved. We see that many times ganks manage to get the jump on AppiePicker, and it's because like he's looking a little bit too much for those flank. The best position in my opinion for Howitzer is behind your front line, and you just keep pounding damage from that safe position, because if the enemy wants to go to you, then they have to go through your front line, and trying to go for those like kind of flank assassin position, I don't think it's correct, because it exposes you way too much and you don't get that much more value compared to doing like the normal positioning. As you can see here, you stay behind your two front line, you poke at a distance, and at some point you will end up winning the fight. So here they get like some good damage onto Crazy Fool, but it's not gonna be enough, and here like you push people away. Now we're trying to be aggressive, try to get the damage on the steal. The steal is dead, but that means, ooh, very nice flash by Crazy Fool. And still like, okay, we got the steal in that situation, but I don't feel like it was needed. Just stay in the backline. Every time they try to go in, you just poke them, and at some point they're gonna break. You don't need to try to make like aggressive play. Like here we don't have the ultimate anymore. I feel like it was over aggressive by AppiePicker. Crazy Fool managed to survive because like a very well timed blink, but if Crazy Fool dies, suddenly this whole aggression is a little bit limited. While you have a Narbash plus all prime, like all you have to do is just play slow, keep poking. At some point someone will die, and that's like an easy W. So I don't like those overly aggressive play that we see a lot on NA. Just like play calm and collected, understand what you're trying to do, just play slow and patient. Here once again, like we have no reason to step forward for Haru, so now we have lost Haru, while we could have just wait, get all the wave down, and probably like make it very easy to win the game. Once again, we try to fight, we try to get kills once we don't need them. We have triple Fang Tooth with all prime plus an Narbash. Like just keep pouring minion wave at the enemy team, poking them with your Howitzer and your Kira, and then you're gonna just like get a free win. So that was once again game, but because we don't finish the game properly, like the enemy team has time to defend. Nivellua is out of position, but we missed the landmine, so ooh, ganks has to be careful. Oh, we're gonna get like the console here, so we have force, we're gonna get the epoch, and we're probably like flashing away, trying to survive. We dodge the ultimate. We're gonna get Nivellua. Fly trap has been used. We're trying to survive. Crazy Fool is low on HP. He's gonna die. We cannot step forward. And now we're dead. And you see, once again, like we see an opportunity to burst a target. So we go for the ultimate immediately, but then it's very easy cancel for the enemy team. And that end up then he doesn't have enough health to be actually be a danger. He cannot step forward. Really, like, I know it kind of looks boring, but in the late game as Howitzer, it's just like poke at a distance, keep your ultimate for a situation that either you won't need it later in the team fight or to save yourself. I feel like we're playing against a Feng Mao and stuff, it can be dangerous. In the end, they managed to clean up everything, so they're gonna get the W on that game. But still, I feel like wonderful early game from AppiePicker. I love also how it show like rotation, but not always committing to the rotation. I feel like the early game was pretty clean. Caused them a little bit of pressure because of like the Haru play we have already mentioned. And then overall, pretty good fights, I would say, but a little bit too much over-aggression. That cost him many times a lot of health, or like ended up killing him. In many situations, he could have just like played more passive in a sense, get his damage down, not over-aggress, and that would have secured like a pretty good game. And also, try to read after all prime what is the best tempo for your team. Is it like to pressure with them because they don't need to reset? Is it to reset with them because you have like a huge item power spike? And here in that situation, AppiePicker had a huge item power spike and didn't take care of it. So I think it was a good game because we can see that there was like some nice play, very good footwork in the early game, but also a lot that could be improved even from those top players. So I hope you enjoyed that review, and I will see you in the next one.